There have been numerous cases reported of intimidation and bullying of the EHRC, particularly relating to the guidance on women's single-sex spaces that you mentioned. In 2022, it's reported that a group calling themselves, forgive my language, pissed off trannies, left more than 60 bottles of urine outside your offices, poured some of the content into the revolving doorway, and staged what they called a piss-in. In the immediate aftermath of the Supreme Court judgment and your EHRC interim update on the law, we've seen placards calling for violence against women who want to protect our rights, with slogans such as, "The only good turf is a dead turf." Having been on the receiving end myself for years, I understand the toll that can take, and it's been reported that you have had similar experiences in your role as chair. What do you think needs to change, especially to ensure that the next chair doesn't experience, or your staff, such incidents?
Sorry, I'm trying not to be emotional about this, because it goes to the heart of what public service is about. And I've been involved in public service for 21 years now as a parliamentarian, and long before that, in fact, in the same political party as Christine Jardine and Alex Brewer. For some 40 years of my life, I have attempted to engage with legislation to make things better for people. That's what we all do. All of us on all sides are here because we have an ambition to improve public policy for people. It's the personal attacks, and I refer to personal attacks as well as attacks on my staff, but I'm more concerned about attacks on my staff than I am on personal attacks, because we have a duty of care to our staff, and we must ensure that our staff are able to work in a respectful, safe place of work. You will have seen, perhaps, that we were due to go to Glasgow for our board meeting, our regular annual board meeting in Scotland, and we were unable to go because the police hadn't been informed, and there was serious risk of violence from messages that were seen, I understand. So I think what bothers me more than my own personal security is that our staff should be able to come to a place of work in safety, and that has been somewhat lacking in the last several years. I reflect on it, and if you don't mind, I will share a reflection with you. Rebecca Paul was just talking about, shall we say, if we want to put them in opposing sides, the other side of the debate, women and girls, particularly, but although men are also part of that debate because they are also covered by the protected characteristic of sex. And one of the things that one notices is that the vast majority of that part of our population, which is particularly the women and girls part, which is more than half our population, but if you take the protected characteristic of sex, it covers everyone in our population, that the vast majority of those people who felt disadvantaged or felt the law was not supporting them did so in a dignified, respectful manner, frequently using the last resort of a tribunal or a court to pursue justice for themselves or their loved ones. Here we have a group that I appreciate as vulnerable, but I don't think it's fair, because women and girls are vulnerable as well. So I don't think it's fair to have a balancing act of who is more vulnerable. Victimhood is not the way I approach things. But the idea that, and let's be clear, this Supreme Court ruling only covers 8,464 people, the holders of GRCs. So in terms of changing things at all, not disadvantaging, but changing things, those are the people affected. But the level of agitation that they can cause in terms of personal attacks, libelous attacks, defamation, where our family members are affected, our intimate family members have to think about how they're going about their place of work and so on, has got to stop. And I'm not saying that as I'm departing as a board member. I'm very silent about my own role. I've never spoken about it before, incidentally. and what it feels like to be on the receiving end of this. But I didn't come into public life to bleat on about myself and feel sorry for myself. I remember in the old days, you would say, oh, it's media, and everyone would tell you you've got to live with it. Either you live with it or you don't. I have chosen not to walk away. I chose to stay here, and I chose to deliver in the public interest, as has done every member of my board. And they don't need to do this. They do it because of a desire for public service.
Thank you, Baroness Falkner.
As do my senior staff.
Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate that. Before, Rosie, I head back to you, I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't an inadvertent and an unwitting tarnishing of all campaigners and activists of either side at all, was there, when we spoke? Because you said
we're there to defend the right to protest. We're there to defend...
That's
and
what I wanted to make sure that there wasn't...
We do so vigorously. We absolutely defend the right of people to protest, even though I noticed last week that we were accused of not doing so in a particular injunction. That was untrue and defamatory and libelous.
It's very clear that we are not silencing people's right to protest, but perhaps the way that they do so should be thought of.